right, everybody. This is Mastering Thrifting and Flipping, Part 2. So our amazing host, Miss Kelly Ward, had to step out for just a second, so she will join us. And I'm going to let her take over once she does. But before she gets here, we're going to talk about a couple of things. So it is February the 11th. Of course, Friday is Valentine's Day. So, selling anything for Valentine's Day, if you have the Merchant Fulfilled Prime or Seller Prime, you could get it to a person by the 14th, but you're really cutting it close. So at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and list items for, you can do Merchant Fulfilled for St. Patrick's Day. And you should be focusing on your Easter baskets right about now. Easter baskets, Easter accessories, Easter clothing, Easter hats, Easter purses, Easter little shoes, the little patent leather shoes, anything that is Easter related, the little white gloves that girls can wear or ladies might wear, scarves, those things that are Easter related. Those are the things that you should be focusing on right about now so you can get those things in as quickly as possible. Some of the places in which you might want to source, of course, we love the Dollar Tree. There's always great things at the Dollar Tree. There really is, including the window clings. You've got, so there are people that will put things on their windows, doctor's offices, dentist offices, they might have those gel clings on there. Insurance offices, even the banks, like they may have some level of something cute that may involve an egg on the little glass. So all of those things are going to sell. The decorations, even the springtime decorations, they're going to sell. So make sure that you're taking advantage of finding those things and listing them as quickly as possible. Besides the Dollar Tree, there's all the other stores that are low price or low cost stores, or either discount stores or liquidation type stores. So I know, like in Florida, you guys have Ollie's. Here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we have like a store called Be Frugal. So you probably want to go check them out and see what they have in the way of Easter and or spring. In addition to that, you've got like the 99-cent store, one of my favorite stores, Big Lots. Also, the Walgreens, the CVS, all of those stores are going to have inventory that you can use to source for your business right now. And so take advantage of checking out those stores. And then as we talk about spring, since we are still technically, quotation marks in the air, in the wintertime, think about all of the spring related items that you could be listing to sell, or that you can find a supplier for. And maybe you can sell wholesale if you haven't established an account. You can go with some of the, more generic wholesalers and see if the margins work for you, like, Dollar Days and DH Gate and UPD, and I'm trying to remember all of them. But there's a few of those stores that you may want to check out. So some of the things that I like to get at the Dollar Tree is we created a bundle, and we actually rode that bundle for quite some time a few years ago. And that is for gardening. So it included the knee pads, the gloves. And so if I remember correctly, the listing was for the green knee pad for people to get down on their knees and get into the dirt, the little green raker and the little green hand shovel, so the hand raker and the hand shovel, and then the green gloves. And I want to say there was one more thing. We may have put like the green hose sprayer with that. So that's something that you can sell for sure. And if you want to jump on that listing, there's a bunch of people on it, then you could add one additional thing to that and create a brand new listing for it. So that's an idea. In addition to that, this time of year, selling the, the little hummingbird feeders and the hummingbird feed. I mean, every single year, that's like a routine thing for us to sell those. And so You can sell the multi-pack, or you can sell, there's a multi-listing out there, and there's a single listing, and then there's the one with the bird seed with it, or either 2 bags of bird seed. And so those are great. Then the wind chimes. Wind chimes are always great because, again, you're going into spring. In some places in the US, it is still cold. So, you know, those people that live way north, they're going to buy those items later. But right now, you know that Walmart is moving spring stuff in. They're starting to clearance the summer stuff, or sorry, the winter stuff. So the spring or seasonal stuff will be over in the lawn and garden or the gardening area, which is the same place where they had the Christmas trees. So you could go and see what they have. Sorry. You also want to check the clearance, because as they are bringing those items in, they're actually putting a bunch of stuff on clearance. So they're putting some of the spring stuff that didn't sell before because they have to make room. They're putting those things on clearance. So don't hesitate going to go grab some of those. That is.
Hello, everybody. I apologize.
Hey, Kelly.
I had to take care of mom duties, you know.
It's all part of life. We are real people. But I was giving them some tips on things that they could start sourcing and selling right now.
All right.
So I'll wrap it up. Also, begin the process of checking out what's at some of the department stores. We know that some of the big name stores are closing some of those stores. So check to see if some of those are in your area, like Macy's is closing several stores. So check to see if that's in your area. As we kind of go into the spring, JCPenney's is going to put a bunch of stuff on clearance. And they already have great coupon deals, so you can stack those. Dillard's is going to be putting a bunch of stuff on clearance. Kohl's is going to be putting a bunch of stuff on clearance. In addition to, you know, the regular Walmart and Target. TJ Maxx, all of those stores are going to start putting stuff on clearance. Home Goods. So start to look for that, the winter stuff that you can either buy and hold, or you can go and buy it and list it, or list it merchant fulfilled. I always try to stick with the smaller stuff to manage my shipping costs. So that rule always applies, is try to stick with the smaller stuff. But I'll check out some of your non-traditional stores. You know, the pet stores, baby stores for baby clothing or baby outfits. And again, I mentioned Easter, so there's going to be a lot of Easter related accessories. If you don't sell clothes, you can sell the accessories and take advantage of that, including like little bow ties for boys. Most of the time they're going to sell it with the suit, but sometimes, you know, somebody's just going to buy the standalone bow tie, or a little clip-on tie, or socks, you know, dress socks. So don't forget to take advantage of that opportunity. And you can ride that wave, you know, through the end of February and through the first several weeks in March, because Easter is not until April the 12th, if I remember correctly, or something like that.
Yeah, April the 12th.
Yeah, so I hope that that is a blessing. Oh, sorry, last thing. Also think about the things that people may be buying when they go on spring break. Families are gonna go on vacation, so ironically, swimming suits. So every year I try to get the swimming suits when they go on clearance, so then that way I can resell them right about now. So if you've got anything that's swimming suit related, anything that's life jacket or floaties, or, you know, little flippers of the nose plugs, ear plugs, those types of things, make sure you're listing them now. You can list them on Amazon if they're brand new, or you can list them on eBay. If you can find the listing on Amazon, you can piggyback off the existing listing. But take advantage of that. And then also camping gear. A lot of people go camping for spring break. So it's more of either a vacation, they want to go somewhere warm for spring break, and they're going to start buying that stuff now, ironically, or they're going to go camping. So you should notice that there's like a lot of camping stuff out. And then last but not least, you've got the March Madness. March Madness is right around the corner. So there's going to be the NBA All-Star game coming up, and then March Madness. So those are months, and we're still in Black History Month, so don't overlook that opportunity as well. But March Madness, there's going to be a lot of people traveling to games. So they're going to be buying some of the same stuff that tailgaters would buy for football games. So if you were already selling some things to that audience, don't forget that you can still continue to sell, because sometimes the basketball audience is completely separate from the football audience. But again, they're going to need those little cushions for the seats, for the bleachers. They're going to need most, basketball games are indoors, so they're not going to need all of the throws and to stay warm and stuff like that. But they are going to buy that crazy stuff like body paint. They're going to have like weird hats on to support their college teams. They're going to be needing the coolers to drag stuff, in and out or wherever they're going. So if you were selling for football, college football, or even the Super Bowl, some of those same items are going to sell for the March Madness, including parties. So that's all for me right now.
The spring sports are about to start too.
Yeah, this for baseball and all of that stuff. So, and soccer starts soon too, right?
Well, kids start soccer, so if you find kids stuff,
That's true, because I got to buy cleats because my son starts track next week after, 2 weeks from now, after he gets the cast off. So yeah, if you guys are not going to TJ Maxx or Marshalls to find the shoes, if you can sell
Burlington
them.
Coat Factory.
Huh?
Burlington Coat Factory.
Burlington Coat Factory as well. Yeah, I always forget about that one, saying that one. You can go and get some of those things because right now, middle school, they're getting ready for track. So that means I got to go out and buy some cleats. So people don't want to go to the store. They want to buy it online and have it delivered to their front door. So they should be buying from you. So remember those things. All right. Well, Kelly, I'll let you have it.
All right. So sorry again. So I appreciate everyone's patience. About me, I'm a nurse. I started in e-commerce in 2014 with selling on eBay. And I added Amazon, Etsy, Poshmark, and recently I added in a new platform called Grailed. We'll talk about that, what that is in a few minutes. And I've spoken at multiple e-commerce conferences, and I've done lots of training. So I want to be able to give this information about thrifting and flipping because I love thrifting and flipping. If you look at my house, it looks like a dang thrift store right now because I have so much stuff that I need to get listed. That's one of the things is you don't want to overbuy more than you list. I'm married. I have 4 children. I was out doing mama duty a few minutes ago. And so that's about me. And next slide. So last week we talked about where to thrift, how to get your inventory, and how to comp items. So this week we're going to kind of go over clothing, like soft goods and hard goods and what they are. And then I'm going to go just a little bit over shipping because you need to understand shipping when you're pricing your items, and because if not, you will. A lot of new sellers, I'm in a lot of Facebook groups with thrifting, and a lot of new sellers come on and they're like, I'm so scared to list stuff because I'm afraid of shipping. So we're going to ease those fears, of shipping, because once you learn it, it's really easy. It's not as scary as it seems. And I'll show you how to not lose money on your shipping. Sometimes, because when you first started, you could make good profit, but then you get a big chunk taken out of it because you didn't do your shipping right. And that'll be a hard lesson to swallow. Next slide, please. So I want to talk a little about clothes here. Little factoids here. 50% of all internet users have bought some kind of fashion related item online, like, clothes, purse, jewelry. 50%, that's a lot. That's a lot right there. 57%. In 2018, the U.S. retail e-com revenue from fashion, shoes, and accessories that was bought online was $102 billion. That's a lot of money that people are spending online shopping. They don't want to go to the stores anymore. They want to be able to just buy their stuff online. And right now, a big trend with younger generations is buying thrifted and pre-owned clothes. Even I think it's Nordstrom's is going to start selling used clothes in their stores. So some of these stores are waking up to that. This is what the younger generation wants. These are what the people who are coming into these are the people who have money. You know, they don't have to worry about kids. They don't have to worry about houses and stuff. They have their jobs, and they might have a little apartment, but they don't have, you know, as much bills and stuff as people who have kids. And so they're able to have more spending money, and they're thrifting and buying pre-owned clothes. Even in the Oscars, there was one, Jane Fonda wore a dress she used before, trying to say she's not going to buy new clothes anymore. She's only going to buy used clothes. So it's trending now to buy used and thrifted clothes. All right, next slide. So, like I said, we're going to talk about flipping clothes. I sell a lot of clothes. There's lots of places online to sell them. But I want to give you some tips, because you can make, if you don't follow these tips, you can make some bad buys in the beginning, because I'm a t-shirts and jeans girl. I wear t-shirts and jeans. I did not know about fashion when I started buying clothes. I was like, oh, this brand's like a mall brand, you know, to me that sounds expensive, and it's a dud. So you have to understand fashion and clothes and trends before you just start buying, you know, willy-nilly and end up with stuff that won't sell. So next slide, please. So sourcing clothes. First thing, know your brands and tags. What I've started doing, because, you know, U.S. Polo Association is not Ralph Lauren Polo. There's so many people that are like, what? No, that's true. They're not the same. They're totally two different brands, and one won't get you much compared to the other. So you gotta know your brands and tags. Even within Ralph Lauren Polo, there's different color tags, and they mean different things. The purple tag is like the high echelon stuff selling for $300-400 used. The green tag's just the, you know, what you'd find normally, regular stuff. Maybe you get $25-30 for that shirt. So you have to know these different tags. You can find all sorts of information online. It's just learning, taking the time to learn your brands and tags. Go to learn what's the Walmart brands. What are the, like, you know, like Levi's are good jeans to sell, but Signature by Levi, that's their Walmart brand. You have to understand what are the brands that are in the higher echelon of the stores, and you can earn more money on, and not be listing stuff that you're only earning a couple dollars on. You want, you know, if you want to maximize your time, you want to make sure that you're earning more profit, and look for the items that sell higher. Plus size, your big and tall size, and clothes that have like the shape where, you know, the jeans that make you look skinnier and stuff like that. Those tend to sell faster because everyone, you know, they're harder to find. The big and tall sizes are harder to find. Like plus size is like women, big, you know, for larger women. Big and tall is like larger men. And then, you know, the shapewear, you got like the Not Your Daughter's jeans, and there's like the Chicos with the tummy tuck. They really help hide, you know, how women like to hide their belly. So those tend to sell faster. And when you're out shopping for your clothes, you know, look for the flaws, look for holes, look for stains. You have to go to a different lighting, like I said last time. to look for any stains, check the zippers to make sure they work. Because some people, it looks great, but you didn't know that the person threw it away because the zippers broke. So unless you can know how to fix the zipper, make sure you look for those flaws and keep up with the trends, because they change, quite often. LuLaRoe was flying off the shelves a couple years ago. Now people can't sell that stuff because no one wants it anymore. The trend has changed.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
yeah, it's crazy.
I was gonna
Vintage.
say the oversized, the plus, not like the double plus, because I'm a plus size girl, but the
Mhm.
extra larger sizes like the 6X and the 7X and the 8X and all of those bigger sizes, including men's and women's and undergarments and
Mhm.
coats and whatever. Like buying some of that stuff in thrift stores or just getting it and being able to resell it, not just like I've sold a lot of that on eBay because people are looking for those items. And so,
Yeah.
like she was saying before, the bigger sizes or the larger sizes that are not traditionally in all of your department stores, those are the ones that people are looking for, and they will more than likely buy them online for whatever reason, whether it's because they really can't get out to go shopping themselves, or they don't want to go out to go shopping for themselves. They'll buy it online. So if you have access to a lot of those clothes, you can make a lot of money selling those clothes for sure.
And vintage clothes, especially like vintage band T-shirts. You have to make sure they're vintage. There's lots of reprints done. You have to make sure, because if it's got a no tag on it, it's got the screen tag on the inside, it's not vintage. I'm sorry to say, it's got to have the tag. There's all that's a thing that's like single stitch on the sleeve usually, and you look those up, and they can sell for hundreds of dollars. I know people that sell shirts, T-shirts, hundreds of dollars, and sometimes it goes overseas. So then, you charge shipping for overseas, and sometimes you make a little extra money that way. But vintage clothing, and you can list, you got to understand where you want to list this stuff too. You can sell on eBay, Etsy. You can do vintage clothes. There's Poshmark, that's for the women's clothes. You can do Mercari also. And then there's ThreadUp and Tradesy and RealReal, lots of places. And then there's Grailed, which I mentioned earlier, which is a men's clothes and vintage clothes for men. And you can usually get more for your items on Grailed than you can on eBay, because those apps are where the younger generations are going. They're going to the apps. They're not going to eBay. Some of them don't even, some of the, that generation, the millennials and younger, don't even know what eBay is. So you have to understand who you're going to sell this to, and where are they going to be looking for this before you, when you're listing. Or you could cross post. You could put it on eBay and put it on the 4 other platforms, but you just have to keep up with it. And like, oh, I sold this, so I gotta go take it off the other platform so it sell at the same time, and then you're in trouble. And then have an organized storage system for your inventory. We talked about this in our another training. You have to keep your storage system where you can find stuff, so you're not spending 3 or 4 hours looking for something instead of spending that 3 or 4 hours being able to list stuff. All right, next. Okay, a little bit about listing clothes. Make sure you have to include any flaws in the item. If there's a small holes or a small stain or tear, And you gotta make sure you note that. And if when you take your pictures, to make sure to take pictures of those flaws. Maybe use like a little pen or something to point it out. And then measurements. This is a big thing. Some people, I don't want to take the time to do measurements. This helps you from having customers emailing you all the time asking for measurements. So sometimes you do bulk listing where you might grab 5 pairs of jeans and do all your measurements of all those jeans and write them down while you're watching some TV or something, so you can be working. And then there's an app called Sizely that they'll bring up a picture of like a pair of jeans, and you can put in the measurement so people can see exactly what the measurement is with the Sizely, and you could download that picture and put it into your listings. So that's a lot. My major thing is that you make sure you take more than one picture too. Make sure front, back, sides. If there's anything, any neat features, like say you have track pants and they got zippers on the legs. Take a picture of the zipper. People want to see all the clothes they're buying, especially if it's something they're paying a lot for. Okay, so that's clothing. I mean, I could go on and on and on about clothing, but we only have a short time. So next, okay, now let's talk about hard goods. Hard goods is basically anything that's not clothing. It's your furniture, appliances, tools, electronics, toys, sporting goods. So that's what hard goods encompasses. Next slide. So with electronics, a lot of people do very well at selling electronics, but you need to be able, if you're able to test them. There's some people that's what they do. They get their electronics, and then the next day they spent the whole afternoon testing all their electronics, and the next day they list them. So you need to test it, see if it works. If there's something broken, then you figure out, is it something that you can fix and be able to sell, or is it not worth your time to fix it and sell it for parts? You will look for the bigger name brands, not the Walmart name brands like before. Your Sony, your Samsung. Remote controls by themselves. A lot of people find remote controls by themselves for like $1 at the thrift stores and or garage sales for 50 cents. They're easy to test. You turn on your camera on your phone, put a battery in that remote control and push the button. If the little red light blinks on, that means that remote works. You can just point that light into your camera and look it to see if it works. And some remotes sell for high amounts of money, especially like the Logitech Harmony remotes. Those can sell for almost $100 used. Of course, vintage items, DVD and VCRs. They're like, VCRs, who wants a VCR? There's people who want VCRs. They want the DVD and VCR recorders. They sell like crazy. They're not fun to ship out, but they sell really well. And of course, your larger items is a higher shipping cost, so you have to understand your shipping. Usually with larger items, especially with the dimensional weight change that the post office implemented last year, it's better to use FedEx or UPS instead of going through the post office. Or you might just sell locally with the Facebook Marketplace if you have something that's really big. And they do have a higher rate of returns because sometimes it gets damaged in shipping. It happens. And then there's some people that just want a part off of something and we'll order it and then say it doesn't work and send it back. It happens. So it's up to you if you want to do electronics or not. Next screen, please. Okay, seasonal items. I want to throw this in here. They sell year round. Don't be afraid to list them off season. Christmas sells year round. Halloween sells year round. You know, like with the Halloween costume. Well, maybe someone's doing a play and they need that costume for a play. So don't be afraid to list stuff off season. It sells year round. I mean, I sold Christmas stuff yesterday. So don't be in, like Nicole was saying earlier, people take cruises year round or they travel, and the seasons are opposite. Down in Australia, it's summer right now. Even though we're in the middle of winter, they're in the middle of their summer. And someone from Australia might like that item you have listed, and it's summer down there and they want summer clothes. So have, you know, a good mix of off-season items in with your in-season items. Next, toys. There's some people that just make living off of selling toys. Vintage and nostalgia. That means stuff like from your childhood. Everyone wants to buy back their childhood. What's big right now that's on there on eBay? Video games like the N64 and GameCube. That's big. It used to be the regular old Nintendo, but that group's kind of getting older and they're not really interested into buying that. Now the next group's coming in wanting to buy back their childhood. He-Man. Stuff from the 80s is big right now. He-Man, Strawberry Shortcake, that kind of stuff. People are wanting to buy back their childhood. And then you have your hot toy of the year. Everyone wants Christmas. What's going to be the hot toy of the year? Is it going to be the fingerlings, you know, like it was a couple years ago? So you have to keep, you know, what's with the hot toy of the year. Then there's plush, your stuffed animals. Some go for a big bunch of money. Disney goes fast. Some fits for, you know, and there's certain things that, like Build-A-Bear. Some of those Build-A-Bears have been retired, and there's some people who want them. There's even I follow a Facebook page. It's where they lost, some people who lose their plush, and they're like, I want to find this one that I had when I was a child. And people will look for it on eBay and Etsy and everywhere. Legos are always selling, and even the minifigures by themselves will sell. And Disney, of course, everyone loves Disney. And then you look at the movie releases. I mean, you had Toy Story 4 come out. So if you had any old Toy Story toys that you found, they probably sold. And I'm trying to think what other movies came out this year. Trolls is coming out, so Trolls will probably sell again.
Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog is coming out.
Yes.
I know that we did the family-friendly movie, so I'll go back and look on my other computer and see. But yeah, there's a lot of movies that are coming out this year. There's a couple of cartoons that are sort of, one of them sort of, I won't say mystical and magical, but it is. So there's going to be some toys that come out of that will be unique, and there may be already toys that look similar to those, so people will be interested in buying those. And I would say movies are always a great bundle opportunity as well. So yeah, don't overlook the movies. I think there's another Marvel movie that's also coming out. I feel like either Aquaman is coming out at the end of this year, the beginning of next year. So again, there's going to be some DC comic stuff coming out. Marvel. Oh yeah, Black Widow's coming out. But yeah, just the different movies that are going to be. Oh, Minions is coming out as well. So just more toys. Just Lots of toy opportunities.
All right. Okay, next screen. Okay. Board games. Board games, especially vintage ones. I probably everyone's tired of hearing vintage, but vintage sells. Just the way it is. Vintage and complete games. They can go, not all the games, but lots of them. And video games in their systems. I'm so mad at myself. I threw, I asked, before I started selling, my husband had a GameCube and he wasn't using it. I was like, well, what do you want to do with it? You're not using it? I don't know, so I threw it away. You know how much I could get for that thing now? I'm kicking myself for throwing that away. Yeah, there's games, the systems, the controllers, especially the older ones, because everyone wants to go back to their childhood and play those games that they grew up with. Game parts. You could take Scrabble games and sell the tiles. Crafters use the tiles, so you could get a couple Scrabble games and sell the tiles, and then you sell the little tile holders that people might be missing from their games. You can part out games and make money because someone lost that part and they want to find it. And also, I also added jigsaw puzzles. If you find them, I find jigsaw puzzles still sealed at the thrift store all the time. I just scan them, look them up on Amazon, and I've sold some of them for $20-$30. So jigsaw puzzles can sell. And there's a site called boardgamegeek.com, and you can look on there and it'll tell you the popularity. It's just about board games. It's just all about board games, and you can even look up the board game and the year it came out, and it'll tell you what all it comes with. Say that you find a board game but it's missing the manual, you can look in there and say, well, it has everything else, and be able to list it. Say, this game is complete but it's missing the manual, but the people still buy it. So that's another thing to look for. Then we have home and kitchen goods. So I say look for trends in kind of diets and cooking techniques. Like right now, Instapot or Instant Pot. Sorry, some people get all nitty gritty about that. Is big. Everyone wants to cook from the Instapot, and there's some people who bought one and decided they didn't like it, and they just donate it, and you could, buy it, pick it up for $20 and probably flip it for, $60 or $70. If it's, still in good condition. You can also part out small appliances. I do this all the time. I find the drip trays from the George Foreman grill. I have listings that just have quantities of them because I find them all the time for 50 cents, 25 cents at the thrift store. Sell them for $7, $8, $12, depending on for the larger ones. And they're just really easy to ship too. So you can part out small appliances. The Keurig, people need parts for that all the time, and you can sell for $20, $25 for a little part. So don't, it might not work, but you can part it out. You can also, the coffee pots, just the decanters, it breaks. Happened to me, it breaks, and they can't find the one they need. They can go look it up on eBay and find it and buy it. Vintage items, your vintage waffle makers, a Sunbeam all chrome waffle maker like you grew up having, mama cooking your waffles on Saturday morning, those sell really well. You can get them for cheap at a garage sale or thrift store. Those are good. Discontinued goods and like refills, they sell very good. There's the, I don't know if you remember the scrubbing bubble, that shower cleaner that would hang in the shower and spray the shower at a certain time to clean it. Those sell for almost $80, $90 on eBay, and they sell fast. Even the refills sell fast because they don't make them anymore, and people like them, and they will look for them. They'll pay up for it. They'll pay up for discontinued cosmetics and discontinued uh, fragrances of stuff, discontinued perfumes. You know, everyone's looking for their favorite perfume, and it's gone, and so they'll look for it. They'll pay up for it. And you have like handmade blankets and napkins. You might see them at the thrift stores. It's like, who's going to pay that? People will pay up for them. They'll pay $40 plus shipping, and you pay $3 for it at the thrift store. As long as it's in good condition, not have, you know, gunk all over it. If it's in good condition, people will buy it. And dinnerware and silverware, some of them can bring up some good money. You just have to really learn this stuff. Glassware can sell like crazy if you know what ones to look for. If you know what the difference between uranium glass and milk glass and that kind of such. You just are learning. It's just always learning. I mean, I'm always learning with my thrifting. But for if you have some plates and stuff that you want to identify, there's a place called replacements.com, and you can look up brands, and you can look through and find the pattern you look for, so you know what to call the pattern when you're listing your item.
I was going to add a couple other things. So on the silverware, something that I run into a couple of times is the sterling silver. Because you know, when sterling silver is not polished all the time, it doesn't look nice. And so what you'll find, yeah, it looks tarnished. And so what you'll find is that people will just donate it, or even sometimes just throw it out, and they don't realize that it's valuable. You know, so when you have people that are older and don't have a lot of family around, they'll just clean out the house and just, you know, donate everything that's in the house. So sometimes you run into those kind of finds, something that looks really tarnished, and you're like, okay, I don't understand this silverware. So I will tell you, the silverware is worth walking through and just seeing what you find, because sometimes that stuff is extremely valuable. And then, oh yeah, and then as I mentioned at one point, this is the best time of year, meaning right after the holidays, right after, you know, Thanksgiving and Christmas, to go to thrift stores and go see what people are donating. The other thing is that with spring break coming up, there's going to be a lot of people that will be going to do spring cleaning, and they're going to donate a bunch more. So you have an influx of donations coming in January and February, and then you'll have another influx of donations coming in March and April from all of the people that are doing spring cleaning. So this is the awesome, this is the window for those people that are saying, I don't make a lot of money on Amazon around this time. You know, I make a little bit here and there for the holidays, you know, for Easter or for, you know, Mother's Day or graduation or whatever, but I'm not getting regular income. This is when you start hitting up these thrift stores, you start going to these garage sales, and you start finding this kind of stuff, because people are going to be cleaning out their house. And this is when you're going to make a lot of money flipping the stuff that they're just donating or tossing out.
Yep. So next we're going to head on to shipping. I'm going to talk briefly about shipping, because we need to, when you're thrifting and not shipping, you know, when you're not shipping to Amazon and Amazon's doing all your shipping for you, you're not learning shipping. When you're thrifting and shipping yourself, you need to learn shipping. So I'm going to tell you how to save money by shipping yourself. You need to go and make sure, you know, I'm going to tell you what supplies you need. and we're going to go over about how to correctly charge the amount, the correct amount for shipping, so that you're not getting a surprise when you go ship and find out that it costs $10 more than you thought to ship this item. Because being 1 inch in dimension over the rate, you can end up in, because the post office has a dimension rate, and if it's over a certain size, they're gonna like the shipping cost goes up extremely high. So next screen. Okay, this is a little chart I found. The post rate, about every January, the post rate goes up. And every January, all the thrifters, everyone goes, oh, the thrift, it's a part of business, deal with it. So you have your first class packaging service. First class used to be one price over, for per ounce over for the whole country, but now it's per zones. And zones are not depending on where you live. It's not like zone 5 is California. Zone 5 is how far it is from your where you're shipping from. Like zone 1 and 2 is like me shipping in my own city and maybe the next city over. Zone 3 might be me. I'm about 30 miles north of Houston. Zone 3 might be shipping to Houston. Zone 4 might be shipping to Dallas for me. So it all depends on where you live to these zones. And if you do shipping, you can do calculated shipping, or you can do a flat rate, or you can figure out what the average shipping would be for the item and figure out that price into your item cost and offer free shipping. Free shipping is not as big anymore because so many people have started, offering, so many people have put their price with shipping separate that people still buy. If someone wants it, they will pay for the shipping. And for smaller, heavier items, there's cubic shipping, which eBay doesn't offer. So you go to a site called pirateship.com, sign up, it's free, and you can put your dimensions and the weight in there, and it'll tell you, okay, that fits under cubic rate 0.3, and it's zone 5, so it would be $9.65 to ship that item instead of being almost $11. It could save you a couple dollars when you're shipping larger, smaller items that are heavier. And also, with shipping first class, if you go to the post office, you can only ship first class up to 13 ounces. If you're from your house, you can ship up to 15.99 ounces first class. So that's a big difference there. And there's also yeah.
I was just going to add one additional thing. So Kelly has given you some amazing information about shipping. And if you ever have questions inside the group about shipping, it's probably a 90% chance that she'll probably be the one to answer it, either her or Tony, or sometimes Renata. But I just want you to know, like, when it comes to shipping, this lady is a wealth of knowledge. And so if some of this feels like it's overwhelming, the great thing about the Academy is you can always replay it back so that you can break down how does this apply to me when you're ready to do some shipping. So I know there's a lot of information here, but it is good information to know. because if you get something that is, you got something that has some great margins, but it's all eaten up in shipping, and you just defeated the whole point of acquiring that piece of inventory. So getting better at shipping is something that happens over time and only with experience. So I just want to encourage you to, I know that there was another shipping series inside of the Academy training. You can watch that one in addition to this one together. And hopefully it will be a huge blessing to you and your business, because that is an expense that can cost you a pretty penny. So go ahead, Kelly.
And I also want to say, with the pirateship.com, you can also sign up. You just have to go to the little chat box on there and ask to be put in their simple export program, which is shipping internationally. And they have great discounted rates for anything that's under 4 pounds and under to ship international. And the people from other countries love that, because it is so much cheaper than buying from the global shipping program. And it's very easy. I mean, you put your dimensions in, you put your weight in, and you print out the label just like any other label. It looks differently, and it's already signed with your name on it, because you have to sign it, and you fill out this like 2 things. They like ask you what the item is and how much is it worth. I have a video of that on my YouTube, but it's just really easy to do. All right, next slide. So we're going to go over kind of basic shipping supplies. Don't have to have anything really fancy, but I would suggest a shipping scale, or when I started, was using a kitchen scale, and eventually I got a shipping scale. But I like the shipping scale with a little separate readout for bigger boxes, especially since I do Amazon. I'd say a printer, so you can print off your shipping. Like I said, save yourself money, because you get commercial prices. You get commercial shipping. You're not paying retail shipping. You're paying way less than what they charge at the post office. Get some shipping envelopes and boxes. If you're getting started and you just want to have a couple things, you can go to the Dollar Tree. They have some shipping envelopes and boxes. And then once you get more, I order from Amazon. There's the Boxery, there's Uline, there's a bunch of different places to get, or even eBay has shipping supplies. You need packing tape. You need measuring tape. A measuring tape so you can measure your boxes and because sometimes you get some weird wonky boxes, or sometimes to save on the dimensions, you redo a box, you kind of cut it down a little bit to save some money on weight and on the size. Bubble wrap. You gonna say something, Nicole?
No, I didn't. I think somebody's unmuted, so I apologize. Hold on, let me mute him. Okay. All right, go ahead.
Bubble wrap and packing material. Ask your family members if you know someone, they always shopping on Amazon. They're always buying something from Walmart.com or whatever. And ask them, hey, save me your boxes and the shipping supplies, the air pillows that come in. And I have my parents save me some. I save them. I get it from work. I have them save me that stuff from work. They're gonna throw it away anyway, so why not recycle it? And you can go to the United States Postal Service website and order priority boxes and envelopes for free, like the padded flat rate envelope. That is gold. That's how I ship my coffee mugs. Like, in an envelope? Yep, I ship my coffee mugs in an envelope. I put my coffee mugs in a 6x6x4 box after I wrap it up in bubble wrap. Tape it shut. Or if it, tape it shut as much as I can. Sometimes you got the little bigger mugs, but as long as it's protected really well, I put it in that padded flat weight envelope instead of sending it for $10 or $12 by weight. It's going for $8. And people like that because that means less shipping for your customer. And your customer's like, hey, same mug, but this person's only charging $8 for shipping, and this one's charging $12 for shipping. Who do you think they're gonna buy from? They're gonna buy from the one who's only charging $8 for shipping. And I haven't had any mugs broken using that system. Not one. Now for larger, taller mugs, then I have to use the 8x6x4 box. But if you just regular mugs, that way's fine. And then charging the correct amount for shipping. You want to make sure that you don't just do the weight of your item. You have to include the weight of any shipping boxes you have, or the envelope, any packaging material that's gonna be in that box. And then, like, I always put a little thank you card in with my items. And so you have to put all that in there to make sure, because that can make something that was 15 ounces, and then you put all that stuff on there, and now it's 1 ounce, 1 pound, 3 ounces. Well, now it can't go first class. That's a big difference in price there. That's almost $3 or $4, and that can take a big chunk out of your profit. So you have to make sure that you know the correct weight of your item with the shipping and packing materials. And use your flat rate when you can. If you can fit it into a padded flat rate and it's safe to go that way, like I said before, that's a big savings there. And then the cubic rate shipping, like I was talking before, on the pirateship.com. And you can use pirate ship like for Etsy, or for any, for Grailed, or for any, except for Poshmark, because Poshmark sends you their labels. When you make a sale on Poshmark, they just send you the label through your email, and you just print it out. It's really easy. And then if you want to, take your boxes and weigh them empty and see what their weight is. So you can say, well, I need to ship it in that box. So that adds 4 ounces into my total weight from the other stuff. So you can automatically, you don't have to sit there and keep on weighing stuff in boxes. You could just do that math right there. So you want to make sure that, and you want to make sure, well, I know this is going to be really heavy and really big, so I might want to use FedEx or United or UPS. If you're not really sure, there's a site called flippertools.com, and you can put in your dimensions and the weight of the item, and it will tell you what the prices will be for FedEx and for the post office. I don't think it has the UPS on there. So using that, you'll be able to figure it out before you list your items. Because when I'm buying my stuff, I'm already thinking how I'm going to ship this item. I'm not going to sell it and to be like, okay, now how I'm going to ship it. No, I already know how I'm going. I'm already thinking, how am I going to ship this? Do I have a box big enough for it? If not, I need to find one. I need to go to the Home Depot or Walmart and get a bigger box to have on hand in case this sells, so that I can be able to ship quickly. Because that's what customers love, is when you ship quickly. They don't want to be sitting waiting 3 or 4 days for you to ship it out, when Amazon, they have it in your door before you even hit the enter. So make sure you have your shipping supplies with you at all times. So next slide, please. Clothing, we covered many ways you can master thrifting, thrifting. We went over in the first part, we went over to getting the inventory and how to comp prices, and what's good to get and what's not good to get. In today's session, we went over clothing and hard goods and shipping. So you know some good tips to what to look for when you're out going thrifting. So now it's time to start by, if you don't want to go to the thrift stores right away and kind of a little nervous, start by finding stuff in your house, finding shoes that your kids outgrown that are still in good condition and look them up. Find clothes that your husband don't wear anymore or your wife don't wear anymore or your kids don't wear anymore, and start looking them up. See, so you can get practice at that. It's good practice, and start, maybe list a couple of them and get used to it before you head out to the thrift stores. Don't know if Nicole has anything else.
Well, I was just going to say, if you have not taken the opportunity to thrift, just, maybe work it into your e-commerce schedule for maybe one visit a month, just so you can keep that as an arsenal. Again, the thrift stores right now are loaded with inventory, and they're going to continue to get loaded with inventory as we transition into, past spring break. And spring break is different across the United States, but it's also the whole mindset of spring cleaning. So when we think about January the 1st, most people are thinking about New Year's resolutions and weight loss and what do I want to change. So a lot of people are buying journaling stuff. They're buying stuff to help them lose weight. They're buying stuff to help them control their eating or eat better or healthier. So that's that wave of inventory that is going to be there at the beginning of every year to be able to sell. So this is the same concept when it comes to spring cleaning and also all the spring activities. Even though the spring cleaning has, in essence, really nothing to do with spring break, we know during spring break, people are going to be traveling, going to be having fun. So you're going to need travel stuff. You're going to need, all of the things that are involved in what types of vacations people are going to take. And so think about those items. People go fishing, camping, go to the beach, whatever, and they're going to need stuff. And then on top of that, you got spring cleaning. People are going to stay home and get rid of everything extra that they haven't touched in the last 6 months, and they're going to donate it. And it's just a windfall of opportunity for you when they do. So don't overlook those opportunities to make some extra money. Again, most people are not thinking about thrifting and flipping, but it is, there is money to be made. There's so many stories of people finding stuff for like $20 and selling it for $300, and that kind of stuff normally happens because they're thrifting or they've gone to some type of garage sale or yard sale, and someone truly doesn't understand the value of what they're selling at that point because they just want it out of their house. And the last thing, they just want it out. And then one of the last things is, if you see garage sales, if you are a person that doesn't mind just haggling a little bit or just looking around a little bit, another quick tip is to go to the Facebook garage sale groups, and when the person's garage sale is over, reach out to them and say, hey, I'll buy your stuff if you have the capacity to do that. Or ask them, hey, I understand your garage sale is over. What'd you do with the extra stuff? And if they say, I donated it to the thrift store down the street, that's where you're going. So just keep that in mind. I have acquired a significant amount of inventory especially back in 2014 and 15. I acquired a significant amount of inventory for absolutely free using that method. So, I was making money and I used it for my kids' therapies and their first vacations, and I didn't pay anything for inventory. So that was kind of nice. So just sharing, those are some nice ways to, make some money. I mean, I paid, I don't know how much I paid for inventory that year, but 90 to 95% of my inventory I acquired in 2014 was all free. So it's doable. Well, with that being said, thank you all. Kelly, I'll let you close out. I will mute.
I just want to thank you all for coming to this training. And if you have any questions about thrifting or flipping, don't be afraid to put them in the in the group. I'm sure I'm there all the time to answer questions, and if I can't figure it out, I might know someone who knows that answer, because I'm very into the thrifting community on Facebook and YouTube. I'm all the time listening to other thrifters to learn, and to, sometimes I'm helping them. We help each other. It's like we're kind of like our online thrifting family. Then if there's something I don't know, I go to them, and if you have a question, maybe I know someone who knows about those items, and because I might not know about them. I'm not like baseball bats. I couldn't tell you the first thing about baseball bats, but I know someone else who does. So don't be afraid to put those questions in the group, and we can help you get those answers, or find someone else who can help you.
Yeah, I agree. And I forgot to say one more thing. I want you guys to know that you can actually make a full-time income just with thrifting and flipping and garage sales. I know a lot of people who, I follow people who have done it, and I actually had one lady who was on my part of my group at one point, and she just doing garage sales and listing, like, I think her goal was always 6 to 10 items a day, every single 5 days a week. She cleared just part-time stay, because she was stay-at-home mom. She easily cleared about $13,000 to $15,000 in 1 year, and that's in profit. And that's just doing it part-time, just doing 10 items a day. And that's not much. That's anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 a month. But from a part-time standpoint, if you just need that extra cash, that's what she did. So, and then there are people
Nice
that clearly,
vacation there.
yeah, that's a nice vacation. And then there are people who make way more than that. And so her investment in time was probably maybe 2 hours a day or less. It wasn't significant. And all she did was she'd do the thrift stores, she'd go to the garage sales, she'd take the pictures, list them, and then she moved on with the rest of her day. So it is a great way to make money. And, if you double that effort or triple that effort, you can make that kind of money, because she wasn't working that many hours. And she only did it 5 days a week. So with that being said, I hope you all have a blessed evening, blessed day, whatever time you're listening to this. And I hope the information that we provided here in the Academy was of value to you. We do appreciate you, and we value you. And we hope that we are a blessing to you and your business.
Good night.
Good night.